And this is a return to our YouTube channel with DJ Stevie and who am I?
Derek.
I am Derek, Stevie's dad, and we are pleased to be back with our YouTube station yet again. So last week, DJ Stevie, what decade did we look at?
1950s.
The 1950s. And so tonight, which decade are we looking at?
1960s.
The 1960s. The 1960s, right. And how many songs are you going to sing tonight for the 1960s?
3.
3 songs, right. And we would like to thank those viewers who saw us focus on the 1950s. Thank you for all the positive comments. We want to thank you for pressing the like button and subscribing. So if you are a new viewer, press that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So, DJ Stevie, what is our first song that we are going to focus on that you, DJ Stevie, are going to sing?
A Lover's Concerto by the Toys, release date August 1965.
1965 release date. And that is a Linzer and Randall production, right? It was based on the 18th century composition Minuet in G major. All right, so Stevie, that song was at the top of the charts in August of 1965, but there was a group, there were actually 2 groups that prevented A Lover's Concerto by the Toys reaching number 1. What was one of the 2 groups? Do you know which group that was?
No. The Beatles and the Rolling Stones.
Well, it was the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, so you do know. And which song was it? It wasn't Today by the Beatles. What song was it by the Beatles that prevented A Lover's Concerto from being number 1 on the Billboard? Yesterday. And the song, Hey, You, Get Off of My Cloud. What was the group that sang that song?
The Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones. So enough talking from our end. Are you ready, DJ Stevie, to sing our first song focusing on the 1960s?
Yeah.
People, A Lover's Concerto, sung by Stevie, originally sung by the Toys.
How gentle is the rain that falls softly on the meadow. Birds high up in the trees serenade the flowers with their melody. I see there behind the hill the bright colors of the rainbow. Some magic from above made this day for us just to fall in love. Now I belong to you from this day until forever. Just love me tenderly, and I'll give to you every part of me. Oh, don't ever make me cry. The long loneliness without love. Be always true, may keep this day for our heart eternity.
All right, so that was the first of our 3 songs focusing on the 1960s, and our next song will be by which group? DJ Stevie.
The Beatles.
The Beatles. And what is the title of that song, DJ Stevie?
In My Life.
Do you know the release date?
December 3rd, 1965.
Right. So, a couple of months after the Toys had released A Lover's Concerto, just before the Christmas of 1965, Lennon and McCartney had written this beautiful song, and it was covered by at least 3 other musical artists. What was one of the 3 singers or that sang this beautiful song, In My Life, Stevie? DJ Stevie.
The Judy Collins.
Judy Collins, right. So she sang that song, and which would be surprising to others, but who else sang that song?
Ozzy Osbourne and Johnny Cash.
Ozzy Osbourne of Black Sabbath and Johnny Cash. Judy Collins, Ozzy Osbourne, and Johnny Cash sang that song. Now, the lyrics in this song, some are dead and some are living. So John Lennon claims that when he wrote this song, he was talking about a good friend of his, DJ Stevie. So, and who is that good friend of his that died quite young?
Stuart Sutcliffe.
Stuart Sutcliffe. And what year did he die, DJ Stevie?
1962.
1962. Just as the Beatles were beginning Beatlemania, and that Stuart Sutcliffe had unfortunately passed away 3 years before the release date.
He died at only 21.
He was 21 years of age. So 3 years before the release date of In My Life in 1965, Stuart Sutcliffe had passed away. So, DJ Stevie, are you ready to sing and perform In My Life by the Beatles, our second of 3 songs?
Yes.
All right. People, are you ready? In My Life by the Beatles, sung by DJ Stevie.
There are places I'll remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places had their moment with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more.
All right. So that ends the second song of our focus, people, on the 1960s. And what was the title of that song, DJ Stevie?
In My Life.
In My Life by
The Beatles.
The Beatles. So, number 1, we had A Lover's Concerto by the Troggs. Number 2,
The Toys.
The Toys. I am jumping now towards the third. So, Lover's Concerto by the Toys. Number 2, In My Life by the Beatles. And number 3, sir?
Loves Around the Troggs, release date October 13th, 1967.
1967. So 2 years later, on October 13th, 1967, the Troggs had released Love Is All Around, and this was a production by a gentleman by the name of Larry Page. So, Stevie, you're good with dates, and I'm going to travel all the way up to the year 1991. And this song, Love Is All Around, was covered by a band in 1991. What was the name of that band?
REM.
REM people had covered Love Is All Around. And then a few years later, it was in a movie, Four Weddings and a Funeral, and it was in the soundtrack by not a by an English group, not Dry Dry Dry, but what was the name of the group?
What was that?
Wet Wet Wet. So Wet 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 performed Love Is All Around in the soundtrack of the movie Four Weddings and a Funeral. So our third song focusing on the decade of the 1960s. DJ Stevie, are you ready to sing Love Is All Around, originally by the Troggs?
Yes.
All right. So without further ado, we will now, or Stevie will now sing Love Is All Around. Love Is All Around by the Troggs. Stevie will sing Love Is All Around by the Troggs. Release date October 13th, 1967. Are you ready?
Yes.
Performed in 1991 by REM.
I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Well, love is all around me, and so the feeling grows. It's written on the wind. It's everywhere I go. So if you really love me, come on and let it show. You know I love you, I always will. My mind's made up by the way that I feel. There's no beginning, there'll be no end. 'Cause on my love, you can depend. I see your face before me as I lie on my bed. I kinda get to thinking of all the things you said. You give your promise to me, and I give mine to you. I need someone beside me in everything I do. You know I love you, I always will. My mind's made up by the way that I feel. There's no beginning, there'll be no end. 'Cause on my love, you can depend. It's written on the wind. It's everywhere I go. So if you really love me, come on and let it show.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, people, that was our third song. DJ Stevie and I are focusing on the decade of the 1960s. You did a great job, DJ Stevie. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. Now, everyone has been waiting for that secret song. Last week it was Let It Be by the Beatles. Today's secret song, everyone, has to do with a musician, a singer, very popular, a teen idol during the 1960s, who is celebrating a birthday today on April 16th. And who is that singer, DJ Stevie?
Bobby Vinton.
Bobby Vinton, the Polish Prince. And how old is Mr. Bobby Vinton today?
87.
So, Stanley Robert Vinton, stage name Bobby Vinton, is celebrating his 87th birthday. So, DJ Stevie and I, we want to wish Mr. Bobby Vinton a happy birthday today. DJ Stevie will be singing a song. What song are you going to sing in honor of Bobby Vinton's birthday today?
Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet by Bobby Vinton. What was the release date of Blue Velvet, sir?
August 2nd, 1963.
1963. So we had a couple of songs, 1965, one song, 1967. So in the early 1960s, 1963 to be exact, Bobby Vinton sang Blue Velvet. But Stevie, Blue Velvet by Bobby Vinton was not the original singing of that wonderful song. Who sang it originally?
Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett. And do you know what year Tony Bennett sang Blue Velvet?
1951.
1951. So that song, since 1951, so wow, it was literally 12 years later, it became a hit with Bobby Vinton. And it was written by gentlemen by the surnames of Wayne and Morris. Who did the backing? Who was the orchestra that backed Bobby Vinton when he sang that song in 1963?
Burt Bacharach.
Burt Bacharach and his orchestra backed Bobby Vinton, everyone, when he sang Blue Velvet. So it doesn't get any better. Another one of his hits was Blue on Blue, and Blue Velvet is, or was, and still is, on the album Blue on Blue. So, DJ Stevie, we've had 3 songs. This is our, or your surprise song, Blue Velvet, in the Bobby Vinton version, and you are going to sing it, Blue Velvet. Are you ready, DJ Stevie?
Yes.
All right. Are you ready, viewers, who have pressed the like button and subscribed to our wonderful YouTube channel?
Yes.
Here we go. Blue Velvet, sung by DJ Stevie.
She wore blue velvet. Bluer than velvet was the night. Softer than satin was the light from the sky. She wore blue velvet. Bluer than velvet were her eyes. Warmer than May her tender sighs. Love was ours. The love I held tightly, feeling the rapture grow. Like a flame burning brightly, but when she left, gone was the glow of blue velvet. In my heart they'll always be precious and warm of memory through the years. And I still can see blue velvet through my tears. She wore blue velvet. but in my heart they'll always be precious and warm of memory through the years. And I still can see blue velvet through my tears blue.
Oh, my. Wow. Stevie, you outdid yourself, I believe, on that secret song of the 1960s, released August 2nd, 1963. So, people, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that was our secret song. So we, as a recap, A Lover's Concerto by The Toys. Second song, In My Life by the Beatles. Third song, Love Is All Around by the Troggs and Deejay Stevie's. Secret song, Blue Velvet by the Polish Prince, Bobby Vinton. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for pressing that like button, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and if you haven't, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Next week, what decade are we going to focus on?
1970s.
The 1970s. There might be a disco tune there for you. Another secret song. We do want to wish everyone a happy Easter and Passover. And for the following week, a week today and tomorrow, in Ethiopia, they will be celebrating Easter there. So how do we say Happy Easter in Amharic?
Malcolm Pasik.
Melkam Fasika. Early Melkam Fasika to all of our viewers in Ethiopia, in East Africa. So, comes a time when we have to say so long. We thank you for viewing our focus on the 1960s. So, on behalf of DJ Stevie, I am Derek, and we will see you next week when we focus on the 1970s. Amasaganalo, thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Until next week.